Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Prospect Recap. I'm your host, James Ivy Williams, founder and CEO of Between the Lines Sports. And I've got a few of my analysts here with me today. I will let them introduce themselves, starting with Lath. Lath, you're up first.
My name is Lath Daman. I am a regional analyst at Between the Lines Sports covering the Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas area.
Thank you, Lath. Next up, Max. Max is on you. Max is a first timer too, by the way. Max is the first timer. Treat him nice.
Hey everybody, Max Rosenberg here, Southeast region.
Good stuff. And last but not least, Jennings is also a first timer. So two newbies tonight. Jennings, it's on you. Go ahead.
My name is Jennings Squirtle. I'm covering the Midwest region.
All right, good stuff. Welcome. New and old, welcome. Lath, this is like your 10th one. So Lath is a pro here. So but anyways, guys, so thank you so much for jumping on board. As most of you guys, if you guys watch the videos, this is my favorite time of the week to get to talk about some of the guys that we've been covering and just give you guys some of our insight and our thoughts about them. So going to go down the list real quick of who we're covering tonight, and then we'll jump right in. At number 48, we've got Trayce Jackson-Davis from the University of Indiana. At number 39, we've got Kevin McCullar from Kansas. At number 29, we've got Kyle Filipowski from Duke University. At number 28, we've got Taylor Hendricks from UCF. And at number 26, we've got Dereck Lively II from Duke University. So we're going to kind of jump right into it. And James, it is on you with Trayce Jackson-Davis.
Okay. To start off, Trayce Jackson-Davis is a 6'9", 6'10", power forward center. He's a high flyer, loves to play around the rim. He's a double-double machine for Indiana, their star player, their backbone. Since he's in his senior year, he's like exceptional with playing at his own pace and not letting the other teams get in his head or get to him. A lot of times he gets double teamed in the paint, like around the right block, since that's his area. And he excels at making the right read and not letting the pressure get to him and finding his open teammates or finding a way to get to the rim. He has a nice touch around the rim with different post moves, like a variety of post hooks, a little bit of post fades.
Tell me a little bit about Trayce's perimeter shooting. Like, has he extended his range outside 15 feet yet at all?
Honestly, he's like free throwing in. I think I may have seen him take like one 3-pointer.
Okay.
But that might have been it. I don't think he likes shooting, but I think if he can add that to his game, he'll definitely be a threat.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that has been a knock on him the entire time. Is like it's not his interior presence or his touch around the rim. It's really that the NBA is so modern now with big shooting threes and stretching the floor. I feel like one of the things that's going to hurt him is the lack of perimeter shooting. Even if he could just shoot like free throw line extended jumpers, like just being able to shoot a jumper would help him a little bit. So yeah, but everything else I love Trayce's athleticism. I love his ability to finish around the rim. He is a little left hand heavy. I know he's a lefty, and we know how lefties are. He's a little left hand heavy. If he drive right, he's spinning back left. That's the one thing I do know about him. He drive right, he come back left.
But he can make it work.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes it's just got to be. You sometimes can't measure what's inside. We can't measure heart, you can't measure determination. So if he puts his mind to it, he'll be fine, I'm sure. All right, let's move on. At number 39, we've got Kevin McCullar from Kansas. Lath is on you.
Okay, so Kevin McCullar, he is a role player that plays within the flow of the offense by not forcing up shots and not requiring touches. He moves well without the ball constantly moving. He also sets good off-ball screens bigger than his size. As a ball handler, he lacks speed, explosiveness, and burst to the rim on straight-line drives, so it makes it hard for him to blow by his matchup and get to the rim. He makes the right reads on passes and facilitates the ball movement. He is an aggressive rebounder and could grab rebounds out of his zone. On the defensive end, cuts off driving lanes to the rim, forcing them into a tough contested shot. He gets steals and deflections, allowing his team to create offense off their defense and get many easy fast break opportunities.
But good stuff, Lath. Good stuff. I am up next with Kyle Filipowski. Just to give you guys some counting stats on Kyle. He's averaging 15 points a game, 9.2 rebounds, 0.8 blocks, 1.5 assists. He's shooting 77% from the free throw line. He's shooting 27.6% from three and he's shooting 42.4% from the field. Kyle's a unique prospect. He likes to bang, but he also likes to shoot out on the perimeter. The one thing I really like about him is he's tough. Like he's a tough guy. I think he can't. I don't think he can guard multiple positions. I think he can guard 4s and 5s pretty well. I think he's gonna get picked on in pick and roll action because he's not laterally quick. Because one of the things I noticed when they were playing Georgia Tech that they definitely targeted him in DHOs and pick and roll action just to kind of get him on the perimeter and keep him moving. The other side though is he rebounds well. He can knock down a 3. He's got good feel. He passes the ball really well. He makes things go. He's a good outlet passer, things like that. The one thing that I did notice too was that he's not very quick or explosive up the court. Not saying that he has to be, but I think a more athletic big would rim run him. And as you guys know, in the modern NBA, there are a lot of long athletic bigs that just run the floor, run like deers. I think he's gonna have a struggle with that as well in transition play, which is, we know the NBA is a lot of transition and a lot of pick and roll, and those are the two things that he doesn't necessarily do well. But I think his ability to shoot, although his percentages are not reflected of how well he shoots the ball, which is going to be common for a lot of the freshmen too. He can knock down a 3-pointer. He can push. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit too, not necessarily as a wiggle guy, but more so straight line drives, attack closeouts, things like that. So there's a lot that I like about him. I mean, he has good size. He's really about 6'11", 7 feet. He's not frail by any stretch. And like I said, again, he can bang on the interior. He is a willing passer. And he likes to mix it up, which is something that, you just need every now and then. But that's kind of what I like about him. In my opinion, I said that the issue is going to be defensive limitations, the lateral quickness, and the running up and down the court with more athletic bigs and, getting picked on and pick and roll. Okay, moving on. We're throwing it to Max with Taylor Hendricks, a UCF guy. Go ahead, Max.
So Taylor Hendricks, 6'9", freshman, 210 pounds so far this year, averaging 15.6 points, 6.8 rebounds, and surprisingly 1.7 blocks. Towards the middle of early conference season here, end of January, was one of the only NCAA players actually this season as a freshman that had 30 3-pointers made, 30 blocks, and 25 dunks, and has since added to that. Shooting just a shade under 50% from the field, shade under 40 from deep, and 80% from the line on that split. Really was able to spread the floor from day one, even though coming out of high school, he was a center on his team. He's definitely switchable out to perimeter wings and sometimes bigs, a little bit on the leaner side. So once he puts on some more weight, probably will be a little bit more menacing at the rim. Although he does make up great ground now, has some excellent weak side blocks, positioning defensively and on box out really has helped him in rebounding, as well as being able to see the defender, or I'm sorry, see his offensive player coming from the opposite side and being able to either pin it against the backboard or send it 3 rows deep. Filling out his body, like I mentioned earlier, probably will improve his threat level and rim protection a little bit. Definitely as springs though, sneaky bounce. Is able to be a lob threat, be a roll man, catch high. Has a compact high release on his shot as well from deep. Likes the corners on both sides deep. Really high percentage from there. Positioning really on rebounds is an area that he could improve. He does well so far this season, but of course, as a freshman, there are some things that once his body adapts, probably adds 10, 15 pounds of muscle, can also maneuver a little bit more in the paint, absorb some more contact and finish, on the glass or as a dunk threat. From a switchable standpoint defensively, as he's still kind of figuring out being a switchable guy to most positions, he's actually through through our first 20 games that we've seen, from an analytics standpoint, ended up switching out to guard 72 times, as opposed to switching on to a big only 16 of the times. So he's definitely trying to add that to his game. Foot speed is there. So keeping pace with guys and leading them into the congestion. They have a 7-footer in the paint, also UCF, so has that kind of behind him as well.
Okay. Yeah, that switchable number was astonishing. Actually, I was talking to Caleb was at the game with me tonight, so he's telling me about it a little bit.
Yeah, shout out to Caleb.
Yeah, for sure. That's huge. But again, that's gonna be his versatile skill set. Like that's gonna be something that's transferable, the ability to do it. And then I think Caleb said the point average per possession was like less than a point, so it's like 0.7 or something like that. So that's crazy, when you think about it. So he's not giving up. He's not giving up makes. He's not fouling. He's got good lateral quickness, obviously. So there's things to like about him for sure. He's one of the most intriguing guys. There's several guys that are in our mock, especially in our first round, that were surprises for me. They're guys that I'd seen in high school, but I didn't necessarily think that they would take the jump so quickly. I thought most of them would probably be 2-year guys at least. But he's one of those guys that is a pleasant surprise. His ability to shoot is something that I think everyone who evaluates talent sees right away. His size, so shot blocking and spacing the floor are two things that he could do well, which allows him to step on the NBA court right away. And now that we're talking about his switchability on the perimeter also, that only heightens his skill set as a defender, because now he can protect the rim and switch out on the perimeter and contain ball handlers for a few dribbles. Moving on, we're going to go to Dereck Lively II from Duke. Before we even begin, I'm going to say this is definitely a potential overproduction pick. Dereck has unlimited potential as a big. Well, he's one of those modern bigs that we were just talking about. But his counting stats are this: 5.1 points, 5.1 rebounds, 2.3 blocks. He's shooting 64% from the field on 3.4 attempts. So there's not a lot to go off of, right? But what we do know is this: Dereck's 7 foot tall. He runs like a deer. He jumps out of the gym. He has great timing as a shot blocker. He crashes the boards on offensive rebounds. I know this, even though his numbers don't confer, he can shoot the ball from the 3-point line. He's only taken 8 attempts, 12 attempts this year. So it's a small sample size. He's 1 for 12 from 3. And I'm sure that every time he's taken one of those shots, he's gotten yelled at when he came to the bench. So I'm sure they're urging him not to shoot the ball. But I think when Dereck gets into NBA workouts during pre-draft and gets in front of people, he's going to wow people with his ability to run the floor, he has great hands, catches everything, finish around the rim. Like, he's going to be somebody that, if we may have him too low rather, honestly, because I think he's that talented of a basketball player. And I think it's just going to be I think his issue is more fit. And I don't think he necessarily fits the system at Duke very well because of how they want to play. But that doesn't change his talent. It doesn't change that he's an NBA player the moment he steps on the court. And I think that he's gonna do a lot better as an NBA player than he is at Duke. I think he would thrive in a pick and roll offense with a point guard or wings that can facilitate the passing the ball. If you rim run, you're gonna get 2 layups. You crash the board and get 2 offensive rebounds. That's another 2 layups. Now you got 1 basket you got to get. So go figure that out. And then from there, everything else is just easy money for him, to be honest. But that's it, man. Like, that's it. I mean, we're done. Good stuff. First timers. Good stuff. First timers. We'll do these every week just to kind of highlight players that people don't know about. I mean, there's a lot more guys on this list. There are a lot of guys that just don't get talked about and don't get any love. So we try to do our best to make sure that we highlight some other guys. And because the cool thing is this: like, if one of these guys has a good game, people literally go like Google them, right? And you'd be surprised, like Brandon Pozinski in particular, for the first month that we had him up, I think his video maybe had like 100 or so views. I think he had a really good game recently, and like I looked up one day, it was like 600 views. Like it just jumped, So like so people literally go like, "Who is this?" And they go Google him right away, and then or go to YouTube and they go find our video that we have sitting there already. So everyone who's watching, you're welcome. But that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys for jumping on. And all right, guys, thanks for tuning into this episode of Prospect Recap. Just to go over the guys that we covered tonight: Trayce Jackson Davis from Indiana at number 48. Kevin McCullar from Kansas University at number 39. Kyle Filipowski from Duke University at number 29. Taylor Hendricks from UCF at number 28. And Dereck Lively II from Duke University at number 26. As always, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time and joining us for this weekly prospect recap as we kind of just continue to kind of highlight, we continue to highlight some of the prospects that are on our mock draft, some guys that we're covering, some guys that we think you guys really should know about. And so stick with us, please. We've got more content coming. We've got new podcast episodes coming soon. We've got more daily videos on prospects, and we've got the prospect recap every week. On top of that, we've got our mock draft dropping next week on the 15th, 16th, somewhere around there, 15th, 16th. So stay tuned for more content. Follow us on social media at BTL Hoops on both Instagram and Twitter. And then visit the website. Check out the website, www.btlhoops.org, www.btlhoops.org. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.